Hello everybody. I'm Rakiarmas and welcome to a different video. This is a video I promised to do some time ago and it's time to do that. In this video I got to talk about sort of idea I had developed um, to the world of Twisted Metal series. Now, excuse me for a second. Now, I have played Twisted Metal games here and there, and if you have played as well, you know that the tone of the game goes everywhere. Sometimes it goes to the goofy, cartoony way. Sometimes it goes to the um, sort of edgelord comic book style tone. Not very dark, but not cartoonish, goofy dark, or something. How do I say? And then it can go very dark, like Twisted Metal Black goes, like serial killers, cannibalism, that sort of very dark tone. Or in the Twisted Metal, the PlayStation 3 version. I forgot what was the description or the nickname of that game. But the remake of the Twisted Metal, it goes sort of similar tone to the Twisted Metal Black, but a little bit more colorful, and I would say it feels like more action horror, so to speak. Now, as the tone goes everywhere, so goes the continuity and the story, the characters, and the vehicles, and so you have difficulties to combine them all or into like one story or timeline, or it is difficult to say make a complete picture of these many broken pieces that are difficult to fit even with each other in the same series or in the same chapter. Now, my question here for everyone who has played Twisted Metal games enough to know the lore, the series, the background info of everything, is that the idea that the Twisted Metal series and the universe of the Twisted Metal series is told in sort of broken phone way. And again, this is not like a theory. It's more of the question that if this could be possible. That's why I say that anyone who has played Twisted Metal games enough could answer to this question, or if this is possible. That every single Twisted Metal game is seen through different people, different tone, different personalities, and because of this it would create this like that there are lots of either misinformation, more or less, or even like opinions about the whole twisted metal thing in universe. I mean, not like like people's opinion or that hey this twisted metal have to be more kid friendly or something. I'm talking about through like in universe. And the idea came from Tactical Bacon Production, I think it was his channel's name, and he talked about how Twisted Metal Black is a game see through Sweet Tooth. And this gave me the idea for this, or made me thinking that maybe every single Twisted Metal is going through this, but not through for like single person, but from like different characters or like so to speak from different people. And there are sort of enough connection to each other that you can technically, if we go with this idea, we can build the real picture through clues and all these recurring stuff in the game. For example, I have taken some notes here. For example, we have Charlie Kane, and he's the driver of Yellow Jacket in the first game. And his story was that he was looking for his lost son, Needless Kane, which is a recurring character as well. And in Twisted Metal 2, he is the driver of Darktooth, which is the final boss in that game. And he's like demanding revenge for his dead son, or I think it was dead son. And he's like, I think here he replaced the minion who was the tournament champion in the first game. And then in Twisted Metal Black, there is a story that Charlie Kane actually had two sons, Needless Kane and this younger brother of Needles. And in Twisted Metal Black, he was killed and was turned into this zombie driver by his son. Like this little kid is the driver, but he's controlling his dead father like corpse in this remote controller way. So that's the sort of that there are Charlie Kane does appear in multiple games in different ways. Then we have the Needles Kane, and Needles Kane's description changes a lot. In first one, he was this crazy clown who is looking for his friend who was I think it was a paper bag, like what you get from something like McDonald's. Here's your meal, and you take this paper bag where the meal is in. So I think his friend was this paper bag. And in Twisted Metal 2, he was a clown again, but he was very crazy and he wanted to turn into an insect. This killer caterpillar thing. It was weird. But in Twisted Metal 3, he is more cartoonish and stuff, but he doesn't have that fire hair. Or at least the wiki said that he doesn't have a fire hair or the flaming hairdo that he is famous for. And in Twisted Metal 4, he's completely different. He takes over the whole Twisted Metal tournament. He like kicks the Calypso out from his skyscraper and like becomes the ringmaster of the whole tournament. He's the big boss now. And in Twisted Metal Black, he's not cartoonish crazy. He's a serial killer who is like put in a death row, and he's like completely opposite of the cartoonish goofy Sweet Tooth character. Um, so the description of this one character changes in entire series. Like first he is a dangerous crazy guy. In second and third one he's more like gets more on the cartoonish side. Then suddenly he's like evil genius, so to speak, in the fourth one. And he has these minions with him. So the character changes so drastically throughout the series. And even the series, the story, the whole Twisted Metal tournament changes. Like, what is the origin even changes. In, I think it was the uh, Twisted Metal 3, where it was like, back in good old days, the first tournaments of Twisted Metal were like um, during the days of first automobile. Like it, someone says that it has a very long history. Like people say, talk about it as a legend, like how it started. And then I put the examples as the outlaw. What is the cop car in the game? That it has Carl and Jamie Roberts, who are siblings. I think that's the word. Carl is the first driver. Then his sister Jamie is the second driver of the outlaw car, and then they drive the outlaw car together once Jamie got Carl out of space. That's the how the story goes. And even that Carl is also has a nickname Buzz that appears later. It's called, I think it was like Carl Buzz Roberts, and that's his Buzz's sort of nickname. And this appears later in the series. And then Outlaw was driven by Agent Stone in Twisted Metal Black. And then, as the last example, what I want to talk about here is the Los Angeles, which is the recurring place where you drive and fight in the series. The first Twisted Metal game actually happens in the Los Angeles, but then it spread out after that. But Los Angeles is still like a recurring place where this happens, and even the destruction is like um, it's something that happens like continues after the first game. Like in Twisted Metal 2, you see the horror and the destruction what happened in Los Angeles. And it continues the it seems that the Los Angeles is suffering even more. Like it's horrible what happens there. But then comes the other ones that are sort of giving me the fuel for this idea that each game are sort of told from different perspective. Like the Twisted Metal games that are more cartoonish are told from those people who see Twisted Metal in like mocking way. And then there are people, I think the Twisted Metal remake is a good example of point of view of the people who have been in that Twisted Metal tournament. They are the people who seen the horror of the Twisted Metal games. They are the eyewitnesses. They are the people who are like were in the whole battle zone inside. Their families, friends have died there. They probably seen like how some of their family member has been destroyed by the random missile that some of the cars has fired, or some person's friends was killed by the machine gun fire. And also that this tonal shift from horror and mockery is recurring as well, because in Twisted Metal the remake you hear the radio playing in the intro or the one of the cutscene, and then the preacher start telling about the Twisted Metal is coming back, it's end of the world. So he started to do like talk about the doomsdays and stuff. And then the DJ is mocking this preacher, like, we have another crazy talk about Twisted Metal, which is weird because we have a Los Angeles that is constantly being destroyed by Twisted Metal tournament, and still we have people who thinks that yeah, this is all just crazy talk in universe, I mean. And then this also kinda explains how Small Brawl, the kid-friendly version of Twisted Metal series, so to speak, could fit in the series, that it's the how kids would see the Twisted Metal tournament in universe. I mean those kids who are not living in all these who has like they see the whole Twisted Metal tournament as a cool funny stuff, because they don't see it, they have never experienced it. It's like they have heard about Twisted Metal in the news, for example, or something. That can actually happen in real world if you think about how kids can kids like play games if for like what would be like if they like play war games, how they then how they play like something like War of Ukraine, that is actual serious thing, but since they don't have much connection or experience anything, like very small children who just hear about some horrible stuff in the news or something, and then they just play fight or something. That could be an explanation for small brawl. It's uh, kids playing Twisted Metal in universe. They are like acting some of these characters. Like one is, I'm the Calypso, I'm the Spectre, I'm the Outlaw, I'm the Warhawk, I'm Mr. Grimm, that sort of thing. So because there are lots of these things, like minor pieces that some of them are very different from each other, but some of them have connection. Um, like you can, if you watch this as the building mold, so to speak, you could get like the actual picture of Twisted Metal world by playing detective, so to speak, by checking all the recurring happening or recurring elements. We have the Kane family, we have the outlaw, the police car, and the Roberts, Carl and Jamie Roberts, who are recurring characters in the game series. And you have different cars that appear, and you have different drivers that appear, and different areas that may appear in different games. Los Angeles, for example. And then also the tonal thing that how Niels Kane is seen from one perspective as a horrible monster. That would be the point of view of the people who has been in the area where Twisted Metal has happened. And then you have people who are like read about it somewhere, like heard about it on the radio or something, see it as a mockery, mocking the whole thing. Like, yeah, people, you know, going overboard with this whole, destruction derby kind of thing. People panicking over nothing. So this kind of very they are like these people are assholes because they don't see because it's not happening there where they live. Then they don't see the actual real picture, and thus they are talking about this whole Twisted Metal thing through mockery, to joke about it. They throw insults to um, possibly to some recurring, like the whole Needles game again. Instead of seeing as the horrible serial killer, they mocking him. He's that crazy clown who is making funny noises. That sort of thing. And this is the misinformation part that you can see that is partially true. That yeah, these uh, certain characters has appeared again and again, so you can say that these characters are actual true or facts that these people have been in Twisted Metal Tournament. But then you can see that is the picture right? For example, the Twisted Metal 3, which was the more cartoonish look on the Twisted Metal world or the tournament, you can see that is this the true picture of these characters? these cars or drivers that were in the tournament. And then going through all these again and just asking that is it possible to build, so to speak, the true picture of what the Twisted Metal tournament in the end is. Because we cannot trust the so to speak source material, the game itself. If we think about that, this game, Twisted Metal 3 is mocking the whole Twisted Metal tournament. So we have to take the information as in a grain of salt. We have to think about it as okay, there's some elements that we can see as fact or possible clues, but it's kind of like you are what was the word? You are like interviewing, or what was the more police term, but then you have the people who have been there. There might be more truth in them, but there might be some exaggerations in describing the whole situation because they are more traumatized. They have this fear-fueled image of the whole situation. So in a same way, that can be seen as not fully 100% true, but you can see that okay, they have been here, and if they have seen these cars or these drivers or these areas, cities or something that has been as target or the of the recurring area as a part of the whole tournament, then you can see that okay, we have at least eyewitnesses, so they at least can be seen more truthful. This character was here, so he's at least true. But we are talking about people who are heavily traumatized, so there might be some missing pieces or maybe even like pieces that are possibly not fully clear. So this is the whole thing that I have been thinking about if this is possible in Twisted Metal series, which would explain at least, if this is possible, all the conflicting elements in the Twisted Metal lore, the timeline, the history of Twisted Metal, the different description of the characters, even like okay, this car has different drivers, like the Grasshopper. It has it has different drive. I think it at first there was a mercenary. I think was the driver, but then in the second Twisted Metal, it was Calypso's daughter who was the driver. So these all mix and matches and all these different stuff that happens in the series that changes and are different or are even completely changed could be seen as misinformation or, the broken phone thing. And that's kind of the thing what I was thinking about. That is, if this could be possible, simply because I have not played the Twisted Metal series enough to or have knowledge of the whole lore. So if there are people who has played Twisted Metal games so much that they know ins and outs, could answer to this question that if this would be possible. And I want to give this to the people, all the fans, because this could have possibilities to be interesting theory for Twisted Metal universe. And if there are enough fitting pieces in the series that can match with each other, then we could get more complete picture of the whole Twisted Metal universe. Because there are, again, lots of things that changes throughout the series, but there are also lots of little pieces that do match. They do make sense what comes to the continuity wise. So that's kind of the thing has been on my mind, that came to my mind after I watched the Twisted Metal Black Theory video made by I think it was Tactical Bacon production. And sorry if I blabber like this, but that again, that video gave me the idea for this and started to ponder about this because it seems like a good good possible theory for that. What did I explain? Sorry, I'm terrible to explain all this, but still, yeah. Hopefully we can get the. Hopefully you can at least think about this one, and if again, if there are people who have played the whole series, please let me know if this question has um, any good points to think about that. If there is any chance that this could be considered like possible idea, and also what could be the results if someone would go and investigate this thing. If there is anything new or surprising elements that this could bring in Twisted Metal universe, because I'm always interested on lore, and Twisted Metal has one of the pretty interesting universe lore, and thus I wanted to think about that if this would have a chance to build up the world of Twisted Metal more so. Before I start to blabber more and more nonsense here, or over explain stuff even more, thank you for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this, and in the end, if people want to see more or hear me talk about these things, these type of things or similar things more in the future, then by all means let me know. And have a nice day, and hopefully you had a fun Halloween. I'm Rakiarmas, and see you later. Bye bye.